All right, so we are going through the values workshop. So here are our questions for this once you have the values, and this is described as writing down 50 traits that you would love to have in a partner. Your non-negotiable values is what we're getting at, and you eliminate them by 15 at first, then another 15, then another 10 until you have 10 left. Shake it out in between those times, set a timer so it doesn't take forever, and then get to your last five. So these are the questions that we're going through. Do you feel complete with your question number one, Steph?
Yeah.
Cool. And then I'll have you go to two. So can I embody this value and or receive it in relationships? So again, taking 2 minutes to answer this question. And let me know if you finish early.
Yeah. I feel like the first one's kind of like a yes or no. Or the second question, sorry. Um, or like how to expand on that.
Yeah, it'd be good to put some examples down. Like make sure you're putting examples because it's easy to say yes or no
Yeah.
and be like, I do this, but how do you actually do it? Because that, like, if you can't think of anything, then you might want to reconsider if it's a yes.
Hmm.
So I would even change that.
Okay. Got that.
All right. And then do I uphold this value in my own life and how?
Okay, got that one.
Awesome. Number four, how does it make me feel when I uphold this value?
Okay, got that.
How does it make me feel when I do not uphold this value? So question four here. Oh.
Wait, did I do that one? Yeah. How do I make me feel? How does it make me feel when I do not? Okay, I didn't do that one part. Mm, all right. Now I'm on five.
Five. Examples of when I betray this value or have allowed someone to overstep the boundary. You ready?
Okay.
Cool. Six. Last one. How does it feel when I let someone overstep this value's boundary?
Okay.
Sweet. So those are the answers for that. Anything that stands out to you about loyalty?
Well, just ask for the questions. I guess I hadn't really thought of it on like my own of like how do would I feel if I like betrayed it? Or I like the thing of like, or I guess that's where I was like, oh, does it make me feel, or how does it make me feel if I don't uphold it? And I was like, oh, I hadn't really thought of that.
Hmm.
Um, in it. So that like stood out to me of like how opposite that feels because that's more of a like shame, guilt, just like pit in my stomach, like I'm doing something that's not in congruence with myself.
Yeah.
That felt really obvious versus like how do I embody this value or how do I receive it in a relationship? Those are very opposite sides of that. I like that contrast.
Yes. Yeah, it's like it's so important to know because if we don't ask these questions, how will we know? And how are we gonna notice it when it does happen? Because it's bound to come up, maybe not with our lover, but with a friend, a family member, a coworker, because it is something that's important to us. So how can we, nip it in the bud or recognize it as it's happening in real time?
Yeah, because in the sense of like loyalty, I mean, the extreme of it would be like cheating on the relationship.
Yeah.
On like I've seen people, or I've had experience in relationships, not necessarily specifically cheating, but of just like not really considering like the repercussions of the situation on like my own self.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I can't believe like if someone were to cheat, it's like, oh, I can't believe they're like leaving me. It's like, well, of course they're leaving you. Like, why wouldn't you have thought of that before? Like, as like if you like had a seriously we're in a serious loyal relationship
Yeah.
and then stray from that like kind of as that as an example like for loyalty.
Yeah.
But I'm like even smaller my kind of thing it was like oh how does I like the upholding it kind of thing. I was like well I think when him and I were first talking I've just noticed this in just like dating
Yeah.
before like it's like do I tell this random person that's a man that I'm already like take like have a partner I'm happy with
Yeah.
because I didn't until like Volk and I were talking a lot more. He was like, "Yeah, if you talk to a guy, they just automatically think you're flirting with them. You should like just consider it that way." And I'm like, "What?" And
Yeah.
I was, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "That's like enlightening, but also just like, wow, I feel really stupid that like I had no idea because I'm like, I'm not trying to flirt with people, but a lot of people think I'm like really friendly. I'm just being not like friendly, just be." And I'm like, "Oh,
Exactly.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
like even like confuse that energy." Um, so
It's
yeah,
pretty wild.
or being like, is there a reason why I wasn't comfortable sharing? Oh, I'm in a relationship and like entertained like this flirty other person.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and that's not always, a negative thing in relationship, but it is something that you get to address within yourself. Like, why is that happening? And am I not communicating fully with my partner about something that is happening that's not making me happy or fulfilling me? So my energy is wanting to go the easy route, so to say. And
Like
yeah.
initially, the avoidant route feels like the easy route. I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to say anything. It doesn't matter.
Yes, but
Or
in the long term,
and then I'm
hard.
not going to say anything to my partner about that interaction either.
Yes.
Like the high
And
guilt and shame of that is like what it would feel like for that
yes.
injury.
Yeah. And like how much easier and better does it feel to just like tell your partner, "Hey, this happened today. Just letting you know this is how I handled it." Not like not that you have to do that, but if you felt comfortable sharing that, and if you love the person, if you're, long gaming with that person, then yeah, you would want to share that and share that with the other party. Be like, "Hey, yeah." And you can slip it in so nonchalantly where it's like you're conversating and you say, "Oh yeah, me and my husband." Or
Mm-hmm.
me and my partner love doing that. Or just like you slip it in and it just avoids like ooh, that kind of like and it doesn't make it sound like you're assuming that they're
Right.
flirting with you kind of thing. So it's like a easy way to just be like, "I'm taken."
Yeah, because that's the other part of it. It's like not assuming that they're like interested, because that's not
Yeah.
how I ever really think about like, oh, this person's talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're super interested in me. What does it matter? And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should be like more apparent about that. But then there's other times where it just obviously naturally comes out where it's like, oh yeah, like I took a trip with my fiance, like da da
Yeah.
da, ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And that's nice.
yeah.
Well, cool. Great. So we'll move to loving. So basically, we'll answer these same questions around the value of loving, being a lovable, a loving partner. So loving, why is this important to me in relationship?
Okay, got it.
Awesome. Two, do I embody this value and how do I receive it in relationship?
Got it.
Awesome. Three, do I uphold this value in my own life? How can I uphold it?
Okay.
Awesome. How does it make me feel when I uphold this value? We'll just start there. So number four.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Ooh, or A and B.
there we go.
That's what I did on the last one. I was like 4A, 4B.
Nice. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, got that. Let's do the second part. How does it make me feel when I do not uphold it? Um, got it. Okay. Fine.
Great. And then 5, examples of when I betray this value or have allowed someone to overstep this boundary.
Got it.
Sweet. And then last but not least, how does it feel when I let someone overstep this values boundary?
Okay.
Anything that you learned about this value?
Um, yeah, I think when I was writing at first of like why it's important and how do I embody it and how do I receive it, I was more thinking of like loving of just like, oh, we're like nice to each other and we show affection to each other.
Yeah.
It came to like how do I uphold it in like my own life. It was more of like I'm disciplined, I do a good job
Mm,
taking care of myself is how like I love
mm,
myself, and so it was like a lot different. I think I noticed those things were like actually a lot different, not that they aren't different, but it was just like
yeah.
it was yeah, that like love is work, and the loving myself was
Mm,
more of like, and I'm not saying like work in a bad way, but it's
yeah.
like me loving myself is me putting work into myself. But when I'm saying I'm loving other person, I wasn't thinking of it like work into them so much. When like love is an action,
Mm,
is like love is a feeling, but I feel like that's not really. It's more truly like the action, maybe because of the feeling that like love is.
wow. That's deep.
Because I do think of that of like, oh, I love myself, or the part of like, how do I feel when I don't love myself?
Yeah.
Or like, what's an example? It was like, oh, how do I, what did I write? I was like, oh, it would be like how does it make me feel when I don't uphold it? It was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, like, I was thinking about how the days I like don't, if I don't like go outside beside my balcony, like I was like, oh, those are days I'm not loving myself as much. And I feel that I can like feel the depression of those. Like I just went out on my balcony to go outside. Like I didn't go downstairs. I didn't take a walk. I didn't have a reason. Like if it was a day I didn't have like a doctor's appointment or something to drive away for.
Yeah.
Um, because I've really equated like loving myself with having like the good health practices
Yeah.
making myself a nice meal, for an example, like, or even though when I used to drink, maybe that wasn't so loving to myself, but I was like, the idea, it brought me the idea of like taking care of future Stephanie. So I'd like set water on my nightstand when I came home. So when I'd come home from drinking, I'd have like some things
Oh,
I needed to hopefully mitigate the hangover. Um,
wow. That's awesome. That's so brilliant. Wow.
yeah, and we do that all the time of like, how can I do it takes discipline to do something now that your future self is going to really benefit from. And like I think discipline is love. And I don't like necessarily like I don't see discipline as like punishment where
Yeah.
I feel like I was raised that discipline only had like a negative connotation to it and
Yes.
became like an adult that like cared about working out. And I'm like, working out's discipline and that's self-love.
Yes. Yeah. Showing up for yourself, even especially on the days you don't want to go, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. Cool. Oh, love that. All right. Let's go on to provider. Ooh, ooh. So, why is this important to me in relationship?
All right, got that.
Ooh, ooh. Cool. Do I embody this value, and how do I receive it in relationship?
Okay, got it.
Great.
Next one.
All right. Do I uphold this value in my own life? How can I? All right.
Okay.
How does it make me feel when I uphold this value? And how does it make me feel when I do not uphold it?
Okay.
Brilliant. Did you get both A and B of
Yeah.
cool? Then examples of when I betrayed this value or have allowed someone to overstep this boundary.
Okay. 6.
How does it feel when I let someone overstep this values boundary?
Okay.
Okay. And what did you discover or any profound things around this?
Well, I'm going to say the reason I thought it was important for in a relationship because it feels like we're sharing like the load of like life's good burdens and daily life things.
Hmm.
And then it also like knowing that everything's not solely on me
Yeah.
or solely on them, even because there's parts of providing that like I don't, I mean, yeah, it's easy to be like, oh, providing is financial,
Yeah.
but and like that is part of it, and it is going to be more like traditionally put on the man. But then as like providing in the feminine is like the nurturing.
Yeah.
Because I put like for me embodying it for myself is like assessing my needs. So being a provider for myself is like assessing my needs, making sure I'm cared for, whether that's like financial or health
Hmm.
or some other way. Because that's like it was really clear to me. It was like, oh, I feel really confident if I can like provide for myself. I feel really secure and
Yeah.
capable. Like that was like a really big like yes, expansive, like thinking of Tony Robbins in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, and then to like be not provided for was this like feeling of like not being appreciated
Yeah.
uh and like not like just undervalued the
Hmm.
way that like I would feel if I was like what else also like confusing like I don't know more vulnerable but not in like the sense of vulnerable being like sharing something vulnerable with a person but like actually like kind of like opening myself up to being like screwed over, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I really, when it was provider, I was like, how is it provider? Like, what's the feminine side of provider? Was really where I was trying to like put that because I generally attribute that as like a masculine thing.
Yeah.
Because that was the one of these where I was like, I know I want this in them, but I was like, I don't really know how this one is embodied in me, and before answering the questions, like when I was just doing the like crossing them out and choosing it, I was like, I don't really know what I have to say about this.
Yeah. Yeah, did you have any examples of how you could be a provider?
um like my example was like assessing my own needs
Mhm.
and doing that, like providing that. I'm like, my provider is like, well, when I grocery shop, I'm
Yeah.
going to pick the healthy food so that when I'm at home, I've provided my home with
Yes.
healthy food, as an example.
Love that.
And just being aware of my financial situation to do my best to not like overly do my financial, like living out of my means kind of thing.
Yes. Beautiful. Yeah, and I think just some other ones to drop in for like how does the feminine in general be a provider? We provide our honesty, we provide our intuition,
Yeah, intuition.
we provide our our desire. We like, the masculine creates the container and we bring life into that container.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
provider body. Let's hear it.
yes, yes, yeah. Provide, the goodness, the sweet honey, the delicate nectar,
The nectar.
the beauty. Like we provide this. It is something that no man can create. It is beyond them. It is only something a woman can really bring into the life force. And it is that like the womanly touch.
Yeah, like the making a house at home kind of thing, or like, hey, you bought, like they provided the groceries, but like I made the meal, and I know that
Yeah,
part two different ways because like
totally.
thankfully Volk likes to cook and is a good cook, and,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
And you
But it,
like to pick out the foods that
yeah, I
are
might be,
going to be the ingredients of that meal.
yeah, but I might be the provider of like the knowledge.
Yes, yes, totally. Yes. And the awareness and yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Cool. I love that. All right, two more. Great job, by the way. Do you need to get up and shake it out before we continue?
Sure.
Cool. Let's pop on a song. That's always the best case scenario. I don't know if Spotify is gonna like me today. I don't know if I like Spotify today, if I'm being honest.
I'm still on Apple Music.
That's good. I'm sure I'm aware that I don't want to be on Spotify anymore, and I haven't given myself the time to
Mhm.
go to the site that is better for artists and would be much better receiving my money. And like there are platforms that will allow you to take your playlist off of Spotify.
That's what I
And
was thinking about. I was like, I know there's ways to make it easier of transition.
yeah, and transfer them. So I just need to do it.
But I never got super into Spotify where I cared about I had playlists. It was more like
Yeah.
friends of mine's playlists were why I liked Spotify.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just paid for or chose to pay for Apple Music
Yeah.
and like my new phone. And I don't know if it's because it's more updated. I've noticed they like almost like DJ in one song to the other song.
Oh, that's cool.
There's almost like a transition of them overlapping because I
Yeah.
noticed that with my new phone. And I don't know if it's just like because it has a newer software update, it's a newer phone in general. Like I have an iPhone Air now versus I had an iPhone 11 before.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I didn't know that Apple did that. So
Yeah.
that's nice when I've just had it like shuffling songs
Hmm.
where it has like a transition the way like a DJ would like mix the songs together before they switch over.
I love that. Hey. Yeah, I love a good DJ transition. Can you hear this music?
No. Oh
Let-
wait.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Uh, just because I know you doesn't mean I
Yeah.
love you. I did my own shadow work to get this org.
This my friend's
Don't
in.
come up and try to drown me when you're shipping floating. I got love for
So
every woman.
feel free to
nothing
turn
gonna
it up
slowing.
and just shake. You can
Because I know
bounce
you
or
doesn't
jump
mean
out.
oh yeah. I did my own shadow work to get this aura glowing. Don't come up and try to drown me when you're shipping floating. I got love for every woman.
Noises.
It's slowing. That's why my shine is extra golden. That's why I'm beaming extra potent.
Bringing some shoulder
Taking shit on my
circles.
coaching. My work, my full devotion. Cause I've been cutting cords all day. My energy is precious, I won't give it all away. Cause seeking clearer vision of my own karmic mission got me listening to the voice of my purest intuition. Like energy, acrobatics, and lyrical mathematics. Subtracting fakeness and adding in realness and then the magic. I'm saying something that matters and changing the current patterns. Better days and dreams of hates and after. And that's just my philosophy. Never selling out my soul, no matter what it's costing me. I won't compromise integrity. So if I'm not vibing with you, then you just attested me. Just because I know you doesn't mean I owe ya. I did my own shadow work to get this aura glowing. Don't come up and try to drown me when you're shipping floating. I got love for everyone, but nothing gonna have me slowing. Just because I know you doesn't mean I owe ya. I did my own shadow work to get this aura glowing. Don't come up and try to drown me when you're shipping floating. I got love for everyone, but nothing gonna have me slowing. Let all that toxic, it's got a grip. If it ain't serving me, then I just let it slip. Once I feel it off my chest, I feel the new finesse. Smooth like new moon, about to hit that fresh crest. I feel it up till it's flowing out my cup. No parasitic entity gonna siphon my energy because I never settle for this. This life is but a test. Any obstacle in front of me called like a net. We were created to illuminate and elevate it. If you ain't shining, then something's gotta be out of place. Gotta live it to the fullest, cause every breath is sacred. Gotta clean the contamination. Keep it pristine if you know what I mean. My team Titans in Onyx and Eric with a C. Got the musical medicine beats heal communities. If you got any ailment, we got the remedies. I fly with the evil eye, then read the pain in my life. I suffer, I alchemize, my wishes they crystallize. Receiving a high prize, my heart beats to harmonize. I'm clapping my prayer ties, I'm sending you yeah. Just because I know you doesn't mean I owe ya. I did my own shadow work to get this aura glowing. Don't come up and try to drown me when you should be floating. I got love for everyone, but nothing gonna have me slowing. Just because I know you doesn't mean I owe ya. I did my own shadow work to get the sword glowing. Don't come up and try to drain me when your shit ain't flowing. I got love for everyone, but nothing gonna have me slowing. Break through, let the light shine down. Oh yeah, big mood, it's my time, you know. Oh yeah, took a while to find myself. Took a while to find my fun. I'm breaking the mold and you cannot relate. Out in the cold is where you got to stay. You love what you're so, but that love what I
Oh, babies.
would say. I wouldn't lie, you were giving it away. Like being quiet, you had too much to say. Both times I giving the break. Don't try, just get out of the way and let God keep correcting me. Till the times my mind get the best of me. Stumble till I learn what the lesson be. The hope better rest in peace.
All right. Awesome. Nice.
Sounds great.
Get some water. Yeah, it's nice to just shake. Get
Yeah.
it.
Because I was just like working before this. I'm like, my butt hurts.
Yeah. It's like we need to move a little bit. Cool. I'm gonna turn this down. Okay, turn that off. Thanks, Zen.
I liked his thing, just because I know you doesn't mean I owe you.
Onward. Optimistic.
Like the
Why
phrase,
is this important to me in relationship? I'm gonna go pee really fast.
you're good. Go
That
through
bouncing made me have to pee.
Okay, I'm on 4, just to fill you in.
Oh, I don't hear you if you're speaking. Huh.
Okay, I muted and unmuted myself.
Weird. What did I do?
Let's see.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, that was me. My
You're
volume
good.
was turned down. You're fine.
Oh, music. Yeah.
That's
No, also
hilarious.
I was like, oh, I'm letting you know where like I'm on 4.
Nice. Perfect. I was like, oh, she's not saying anything.
I really liked the part of the song
Yeah.
was just know you doesn't mean I owe you. And I'm gonna talk to Volkmar about this because he's very much like helps people. And
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like you're doing like and I feel like I want to help people. And sometimes I've realized I'm like, I want to help them in the way that actually I need to be helped. Like I
Yeah.
think I'm seeing the help in them because I really need to like do that for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like he kind of stretches himself thin
Yeah.
and does a lot for others, or like he will for work. Like if his people, like his workers take longer than they should,
Yeah.
he basically takes the financial cut. He still pays his workers, but
Yeah.
he's not gonna overcharge or not overcharge. But it's like complicated, and owners don't really like when you're like, well, now I have to charge you extra because we were slower, you
Yeah.
know, like to kind of and I don't know if now that I'm saying it that way is like if it's a form of conflict avoidance in that, but he always, you know, feels like if the guy like because the one dude that works for him is like, oh, I'll just, you know, work for free essentially, and he's like, no. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if the guy is choosing to be slow and knows how many hours are like bidded out, like
Yeah. I think
maybe he could
that,
find more of a middle ground of like not eating the cost so much.
yes. I think that's a great conversation to have with him, especially if you say it really lovingly and have an idea. Because it is just growth. And it's like it will only get healthier with when that's addressed.
Yeah, because he already knows that like he's the person that like people go to for help, and he doesn't have necessarily people to go to when he needs it
Yeah.
too. And I feel like that's probably really hard, and it's more common that women are going to ask for help in needs and like have more we just are more communal in general of like
Exactly.
reaching out, or just like I don't know, I don't feel like I mean, I would, well, I'm going to use for example, like I asked one of my friends to come over Saturday to help me with packing and stuff.
Yeah.
And right away I was like, I'll buy you lunch. And then after I was like, I don't need to buy her lunch. Like, I don't even need to offer to do anything in return.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not like I'm going to be sitting there. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
out. Do you mind if our hangout session is you like getting things down from my closet and kind of like sitting with me, body doubling, so I can get some of this work done I need to do at my house?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yes.
but yeah, that's one thing I'm just like, or I think we have complementary skills of like, there's been a time where he wrote like a bid for somebody and he's like, hey, do you mind looking this over? And so I like was like, gave him some feedback of just like the organization of it, of like, I mean, and I was like, can you put more detail in? Because
Yeah.
these, you know, because I think, and I've struggled with the same thing as thinking people are the same as me. People have a good heart like I do. They don't,
Yeah.
you know, like, but the reality is we all need to look out for ourselves first in like an authentic way, not in a greedy way.
Yeah.
And you know, like whatever that means, he needs to write a lot more detail into his estimates, or whatever, then that's what it is.
Yes, exactly.
Of just like, hey, like maybe it really needs to be clearly stated, like this can be changed and the price can go up if it takes more time, you know? So they're not just like, maybe don't, maybe like be more considerate that your dude's slow.
Yeah.
And tell your like, and this is where I'm like, oh, with the ADHD thing, like I loved when my brother Paul would tell me to arrive somewhere 15 minutes before he needed me there. So I arrived on time.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't stressed. That was the way his boundary of like, hey, my sister's late to everything. I don't need this to harm me. I can just tell her to be earlier and then she'll show up on time and it's no big deal.
Boom.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm not even mad. I think it's a great idea. Like my brother Paul in San Diego is a very like emotionally intelligent person and a problem solver.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this came up from this optimistic journal?
No, that came up from the Just Because I Know You
Oh,
Doesn't
yes. The song. Yes.
Just because I know you doesn't mean I owe you. And I think like a real true like partnership, you don't owe each other. It's not because you owe each other that you're doing something anyway. It's like a charity giving. Well, not charity in the sense of like you feel pity for them, but
it's just love. It's out of love that you're showing up.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm continuing on question 4 now.
Love this. Love this. So such a great point. Hello. Hey, girl. Hi. You're soft.
Right. The positive or optimism.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, and the first one I was like, wrote it as positivity. That like makes our life feel lighter.
Yeah.
More so, I'm just like thinking about like when I've dealt with people or had experiences where I was optimistic and somebody was pessimistic, or
Yeah.
just like it's like feels one feels more unlimited, and then the lack of optimism feels very like hopeless and limiting,
Yeah.
depressing, like low energy, because it was like stuck. And that was actually the like the opposite of it was feeling stuck. And I know that's something we've been working on where we have like the idea where I've like felt like I'm in mud. And I
Yeah.
didn't really consider um how I wasn't being optimistic in those situations. But when I wrote stuck, it like went back in my head to all those times we were talking about the idea of like me being in mud and the air, like getting the air out.
Yeah.
Um, and I just wasn't seeing it because I, for
Hard to
whatever,
see it when you're in it. You had
yeah,
mud on your eyes.
yeah, of that. Because like for me, also being like optimistic is being open to like other people's ideas and opinions and experiences,
Yes.
rather like than being closed off. So for and really like to me, optimism is more like having faith.
Yeah.
Like I tie it really to being like I have a relationship with God, and
Mhm.
that faith of like optimism, because I'm like, all right, like I don't know how it's going to get better, but I believe that somehow my problem's going to get better, and it is taking away from me having to control the how or the why
Yeah.
in it when I think of like optimism.
Mhm. Mm, great. Yeah, anything else come up answering that? Does that feel complete?
Um, I'm happy that for the most part, Volk seems like an optimistic person because he was
Yeah.
like, I know him and I've had conversations that were heavy where he was like, he's like, I'm trying to help like solve problems, and like, can you like be optimistic about it?
Yeah.
Like, that's really when I was like, oh, it's almost easy. It's really easy for me to be like, what's not optimistic?
Yeah.
In the moment, I definitely don't see it.
Mm. Hmm.
But I would say for the most part, I try to be optimistic. There might be like an extreme of optimism that's like
Yeah.
so ungrounded,
Hmm.
but I don't have that problem.
Yeah. Yeah. If anything, I think it's adding more of that and being more optimistic. I don't think you have an over optimistic issue.
No, I could be more optimistic in the sense of like trusting that
Yeah.
again, like, looking like my other thing about it was like looking for the silver lining. Like optimism
Hmm.
is almost like hindsight's 2020 of just like, oh, I could be really pessimistic about the car accident. I could still be really pessimistic. It was really easy in the beginning, and I had to really make a concerted effort to be
Hmm.
optimistic
Yeah.
after my car accident.
Yeah. But
Um,
now look at how big of a gift it kind of was.
yeah, but I would say, I guess, in my optimism,
Hmm.
a part of it being like a little too optimistic is I really didn't think it would be so hard to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I don't even know if that is even an optimism thing. I think that's reality, and we don't want to dismiss reality. I think just having the optimism around that every day in every way, I'm working towards healing. And I am putting my effort towards healing and not despair or not this, woe is me, I'm a victim, I'm in pain, I'm hurt, I'm not doing, like I can't even bear this weight. No, like you are doing exactly what you need to do to feel it, to heal it, to rewire it, and to move forward into a new version of yourself because there's no going back. Like, there's been a lot of grief around that. And I think that's all, of course, so valid. Yeah. And being optimistic is not taking any of that away. It's just saying like I can have a better lens on it than being in the woe is me,
Yeah.
which you've
Yeah.
done awesome at.
Right.
You've been crushing it.
Thank you.
Yeah. As best as you can, right? You're gonna have your moments where you're gonna be like, this fucking sucks. Like we have to have those moments because then you'll pull yourself out. Like actually it's all right. Like I am way better than I was. If you look back to that day, a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. Now what? Thanksgiving was November, December, January, February, March, April. 6 months later, and look at where you're at in life. Fucking changing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that was a conversation Volk and I had recently of just like your whole life changed when that car accident happened. He's like basically like your life and the life you had and that
Ended.
you completely ended then. But I
Yeah.
think because I'm actually seeing the changes being very like in real in my life, that I quit my job, that I'm moving.
Yeah.
It feels like my life is ending now. But the
Yeah.
reality is my life ended in November.
Yeah.
And now we're like actually moving into the new life
Hmm.
now. It's not that my life's ending now. My
Yeah.
life ended 6 months ago.
Yeah. Isn't
Uh,
that great? That version of you
yeah,
had to surrender. That version of you could not serve you anymore. It
yeah,
couldn't. It couldn't come along. And like just look at this. Look at this. I love that. Awesome. Oh, well, okay, we'll do this last word and then that will be our call and we'll end on that note.
cool.
Sweet. So respect. You can put respectful or respect. Same thing. So
Yeah,
why is it important to you in relationship? I know this is a tedious practice, but it's so necessary. So necessary.
yeah. Like the stuff that it really helped me like expand on, I wouldn't have came up with without the questions and just with choosing like the words.
Yeah.
Like, I surprised myself actually with
Yeah.
the things of like, yeah, I came out with.
Well, it's pretty cool to be like, this, I'm getting to know myself.
Yeah.
Like, this is how it's done. Okay, great. Mm. Awesome.
Okay.
Great. Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Wow. Anything come up for that?
Um, I didn't really ever think about like how do I feel or how do I receive respect before this or like because it's like oh maybe like in a way or it made me think of like oh I should be more because this is important to me I should express that hey I feel really respected by the way someone treated me because it's really easy to be like somewhat to be aware when we're not feeling when we're feeling disrespected or to be like hey that was disrespectful
Yeah.
like that would be like a common thing in a conflict
Yeah.
but to actually like vocalize when you're feeling that you're receiving respect
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about how especially in relationship that I've like shared that
Yeah.
probably especially I'm thinking about like this is a really probably more important thing to continue to express especially as our like conflict gets like less conflicty I guess like when it's like oh the like probably worst of whatever's going to happen is already kind of like came out at times but to be like hey like I really like to be more acknowledging of like oh this is improved like I really felt respected even though that thing bothered them but the way they came to me to really like cultivate that good communication like that's where the respect comes to me is like acknowledging and cultivating when I'm being respected to like encourage it more especially in those challenging conversations
Mm-hmm.
is what I was thinking because it's like really easy, especially if it's just a random person or not someone you're close to. It's like, oh, if I feel disrespected, I can just really easily, like, I'm just going to cut them out of my life.
Yeah.
And instead, because it's like, because that is so fundamentally important to me.
Yeah.
Instead of, because when I am being respectful, I feel like I'm being very authentic.
Yeah.
But to realize even if somebody's being disrespectful to me, that I can still be respectful and authentic to them. Because like to me, it's like having dignity in my character. Or if I am respectful to somebody and they're not respectful to me, like I know I did my part. And so if things don't go well or however, if they like, I'm thinking more of like random friendships I've had that have like ended because one person felt disrespected and just like decided to really it was like an easy thing for each person to just drop it instead of being like coming back to try to connect again after the disrespect because I think that's probably like a lesson for me still to learn is how to like reconnect after disrespect and I'm thinking about like the how to receive it is like emphasizing times when I do feel really respected.
Yeah. Yes. That's huge And honestly, like, how do you respond in those moments moving forward? It's like, oh, if someone says something petty, lower vibe, not, not respectful, then you can wait a few seconds, take a breath, let them simmer in their own silence,
Hmm.
simmer in their words, let that sink in what they just freaking said, because the emotions are probably so heated in that moment, they don't realize it.
Yeah.
And then you get to respond with, I do not respond to that low of a response. So when you have something better to say, I'm here to hear it. Or something along those lines. It's like, hey, you really sounded insane. Like you sounded like an idiot. I don't respond to that. Like I'm not going to stoop to your level and irritate you further. So if you have something more respectful to say, I'm here to listen. But if you don't, our conversation is done. And like
Yeah.
really getting to like own that power of respect. And that is just respect for your own self. It's like you don't need to tolerate that. You don't need to feed that energy. It doesn't do anyone justice and it can wake someone up. And they can honestly maybe
Mhm.
even come to the like being grateful or thankful to you for that. It takes a big character to be grateful and thankful after saying something ridiculous, but it can happen.
Yeah. It's that. Because sometimes when I've thought of it in a way of like, it's been helpful if I point out to the person, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're being disrespectful to me. I'll point it out in a way of like, your behavior is actually really disrespectful to yourself.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, because they're not so like offended. It
Yeah.
almost disengages it, but it like you said, it like kind of like snaps them to be like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because that's really where it is. It's like, hey, I'm not accepting you disrespecting yourself.
Yes.
Like, because my standard is to respect myself, and so I also have a standard that the people around me choose to respect themselves. And like, if a behavior is whatever, like, because it's not me, it's them. Again, it's like, if I've done my part and been respectful, even if they're being disrespectful toward me, the reality is they're actually being disrespectful to themselves.
Yes.
And like, then it's on them. And then it makes it seem like this is your like side of the road to handle kind of
Yeah.
thing.
100%.
Um,
This is a you thing, not a we thing.
yeah, yeah.
Let's get that figured out. Well, actually, you go figure that out. I'll be over there doing my life.
I'm gonna go take my break and go walk away or whatever. Like, I don't know, because I consider
Yeah.
it like, I mean, I get like people get upset and want to yell sometimes, like especially
Yeah.
in conflict.
Yeah.
Uh, but because I know I get basically will full shut down if I'm
Yeah.
yelled at, like I
Yeah.
make it clear I don't accept that behavior. And
Hmm.
if you choose to do that, I'm gonna walk away from you because you're disrespecting yourself. You're disrespecting, like, it's on many levels, but it's just like I'm gonna leave the situation. Um,
Yes.
for not like permanently necessarily, but
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
temporarily I'm gonna leave the situation so they can like recollect themselves
Hmm.
and like
And
again that whole
actually,
being quiet so they can simmer in it.
yeah. And it's when someone yells, that's not responding, that's reacting.
Yeah.
We don't want to react. Like we're adults.
Yeah. Or like I don't like people that, oh yeah, I think I told this to my roommate because somebody she like dated,
Yeah.
they like drank a cup, like probably drank more than they should have, and drove, and like, yeah, obviously that's like illegal for one, but whatever. Besides that, I'm like, dude, that's really like disrespectful to themselves. Like, even if nothing happens from it, they're still being treating themselves really poorly.
Yeah.
Because of the risk that how high risk of a situation that is, kind of thing.
100%. It's like you don't respect yourself enough. They don't. And then it's disrespecting everyone else. That's like, yeah, that's one of those big ones that we can look at. But that's great advice that you got to share with her.
Yeah.
Well, cool. This was a really great session.
Mhm.
Wow. Huge insights coming out of this one. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
think next week we're gonna dive into the next part that we talked about on the last call
Okay.
and going more into those questions of like releasing And what is it? You'll be, oh my God, you have next week and then you're moving the following week.
Yeah, so like I'll talk to you next week, and then I probably won't talk to you for like 2 weeks, but we can
Yeah.
text.
Yeah. Unless
Uh,
you wanted to do something, well, earlier in the week before Volk gets in. I mean, it'd be a pretty quick, like, doot doot. But yeah, if you wanted to take a week or two until you get back to Arizona, you let me know. We've done a lot
mhm.
of good work around this.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah. Doing that release work next week will be great before you pack everything up and move and start your new life.
so crazy.
So cool. So wild, not crazy. It's
No,
wild.
it's wild. Thank you. I like that reframing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not,
wild. It's fun. It's exciting.
it's like actually using my free will instead of just being like, I have to do what I've always done. Like, let me have free will and like do something else completely different, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my God, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Steph.
Thank you.
Yes, how do you feel now versus before the call?
Um, like more confident in my value of these things. Like,
Yeah.
because it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I value these things, but to really assess like why that value, what where that value like sits in my life,
Yeah.
and the opposite of, like, hey, if you're like the fear, or not the fear of, just like what's the negative of it. And then I think the best, one of the best questions of it is the how do I receive it.
Yeah.
That really made me like think the most,
Mm-hmm.
or I think I struggled the most of just like that wasn't an easy answer to question to answer.
Yeah. And I want to bring this to light. Way back when we started, you had no clue how to ask, what do I want? Like, you had no clue how to answer that. You had no idea. You're like, I'm literally stumped. My brain shuts off. I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
And we like, and now here you are. You're able to answer these questions and be honest. And like that took like an hour and 15 minutes. And we took our little dance break. But to go through all five of those with all those answers, and then to talk about like what stood out, how do you receive it, how like actually giving yourself a blueprint to your own self. That's badass. That's huge.
Yeah, thank you for facilitating that for me. I appreciate it a lot.
100%. I'm so impressed. I'm like, this shit works.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Paul Check. And thanks to my, past self because I did this work when I was moving away from Colorado myself. And I was like, I need some therapy, but I don't trust people yet. So let me do a therapy that I trust. And it was like an online workshop type of thing. So this information has just carried on and I repeat it every year. Like I actually need to do this myself
Okay.
very soon because I think they change,
Yeah.
especially as you get in relationships. Anytime I enter a new relationship or I'm about to exit one, I do it because it's like, oh, things aren't flying. Where do I need to clean up my shit? Where is it actually not me anymore and I'm just outgrowing this and like something else is uh my focus. So it's
Hmm.
nice to keep them on tab because like two or three words might stay, but you might see that one or two of them shifts. And not because you don't value that or it's not negotiable at any point, but it's like it's almost so foundational and in your life integrated that you get to focus on other things that you'd like to bring more into the center.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. And I was like, oh, that's already on like autopilot, not in a rude way.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah. Or what
Yay.
didn't matter. What of all of the 50 things that I was just like, whatever.
Yeah. Meh.
I mean, it was important when I wrote that as a 50 thing, but now I'm just like, well,
Yeah, I could live without this.
I could live without it. But the reality is, writing it down, literally the list always comes true. So it's like, be really detailed. Like, I
Yeah.
I've heard it from different people. If they're like, I wish I would have asked for more and dreamed for more. I
Yeah.
wish I would have dreamed bigger and asked for more because I did get what I asked for.
Every time. And you can believe that. Like you will get what you ask for. It just might not come in the way you expect.
No.
Like, I don't think you ever expected your fiance to come the way he did.
No. I honestly would have never guessed it would have been him.
Yeah. In the best way possible.
Best way possible. But it does also make a lot more sense now. Like
Mhm.
our relationship before of just like, well, we had like a solid friendship
Yeah.
and like mutual like care and respect for each other
Mhm.
besides being like meddling one thing. And it's like, well, I put up a really strong boundary for years of being his friend,
Yeah.
and he still was in my life.
Yes.
Um,
Didn't give up.
yeah, I didn't give up. He's like, I won. That's his little joke. He's like, I won.
I love that. I win.
I think it's great.
Oh, he's like, you're my prize. Not
Yeah,
that you're a trophy, but that you are a gift.
yeah.
Also, very cool before we head out. This thing was going off.
Uh-huh.
You probably saw it, the
Uh,
smoke.
at some
And now
point.
it's almost like completely done
Oh,
smoking.
nice.
There's just a little bit. So
This
that just shows like the amount of energy that you were circling and that we were circling and like playing with. And then we closed the practice. And here we are.
That's so cool. I
Yeah.
love the physical like manifestation of it too.
Same.
Awesome.
That smoke, purifying, cleansing, like releasing, sorting. Yeah. And we closed the container. Thank you, ancestors and everyone helping us
Mhm.
out. Great spirit.
Cool.
Until next week.
Okay.
Yay. Thanks, Steph.
Well, have a good weekend.
Lots of love to you.
Bye.
Bye.